Today I'm going to be comparing these two sets of brushes. Now this one here on the right is a generic for the Roomba vacuum, and this one is going to be from Livecast. This set is also going to come with some other things, so it's going to come with a couple of filters and then also a few of these little knobs here or brushes here for the side. So that thing there is what it's going to come with. The ones that you purchase directly from Roomba are only going to be just the brushes. They do sell those other parts, but they sell them all separately, not together as a set. So when you're looking at these, the main difference is going to be what this is going to look like. So you can see here, this is going to stick out a good ways from the edge. So what that means is that and I'll show you that here in a second, but when you put this in comparison to this is going to be brushing up against this other one. So when they're turning, they're going to be hitting each other, which can cause this one to wear out faster. The other thing is, since these are really high and have these high ridges on them, if you have a lot of hair in your house, which I have a wife and 2 daughters, then the hair can easily shred this. Whereas this one from iRobot, since it has the lower one, hair can still kind of shred it, but it's not as big of a deal. This, once the hair starts to shred it, it will completely tear this up. So this one definitely will not last as long. And the reason I know that's because I've purchased these in the past. And these generic won't last as long as the ones from iRobot will. So that is something that you're going to want to keep in mind. Everything in regards to fit is identical. So on both of these, the one from iRobot, you can just kind of push to take the end out as needed, whether you got trash in there or whatever. Same thing on this one from Livecast. The end is just going to kind of pop out there. And the ends are going to, again, be relatively similar as well. One other thing I did want to mention on this from iRobot, you can kind of see it down inside of there. Going to be a little bit difficult because of this shadowing. But essentially this is just going to be the center part, and then a little piece of plastic, and then the foam. Whereas this one from iRobot is going to actually have a center plastic to keep the foam from sliding around and sliding out, that sort of a thing. So the way it's actually manufactured is going to be a little bit different. You can see here this little piece actually just came off on this generic, and I have never had that happen with the iRobot. Brushes. So also something to consider there. Those sorts of things can happen when you're talking about a generic versus this one from iRobot. Now I'm going to put these into the vacuum itself. So you can see here, these are both going to be the 2 generics that it's going to come with. And you can see what I'm talking about here in regards to how much thicker these are. So because this is sticking out, it is going to hit these pieces here. So it's something that you will want to consider and keep in mind. When you have these that are directly going to be from iRobot and you put those in, then you're going to put that one in there and that one in there. Maybe sometimes they do get a little stuck on just part of the course when you put it in. So you can see here, it's going to leave a little bit more room in here. The main difference is going to be how this one from the generic from Livecast sticks up. And so when hair wraps around it, that does cause more damage to this than this one that's going to be down more on this one from iRobot. Let me go and put this one from iRobot here on the floor, test it out, give you the loudness of this one, and then the loudness of the generic as well. So this is what it's going to sound like on the carpet here in my bathroom. And then this is how loud it's going to be on a hard floor. Now I've swapped out the brushes for the generic ones. Now let's see how loud that is on the carpet and then also on the hard floor as well. This is how loud these generic ones are going to be on the hard floor also. Now it's probably a little difficult to tell with the sound quality, but with these generic ones, especially I believe it's because of how big these flaps are in comparison to the ones that come from iRobot, this is going to be a louder vacuum on hard floor. It's not really noticeable on a carpeted floor, but on hard floor, this little thing, and I believe it's just because it's going to be a little longer, so it's going to be hitting the floor more, is making that sort of a noise. So kind of like that, whereas this one from the iRobot did not. So overall, both of them are good options. I like the fact that the Livecast is going to come with those extra things, like I said. So it's going to come with a couple extra air filters and a couple extra of these brushes as well that you can replace. So that's nice. But downside to it, of course, is going to be that extra noise. And then also, in my experience, the ones from iRobot do tend to last a little bit longer just because of the way that they are designed and not being as high for those, and then also these little ridges in here do tend to help also. So overall, both are good options. If I had to choose one, just because of the longevity of it, I would go with the ones that are made by iRobot.